ダメ。
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to the newest episode of the Waga Pies. It's me, Kasia, and
Ryo.
He was in our last episode and everyone has a huge crush on him, so we brought him back.
Thank you very much for the nice comments.
We're going to talk about 10 things you can surprisingly get away with in Japan that you can't necessarily get away with in other countries.
Number 1, you can drink alcohol on the street.
Japan has no open container laws, so you can buy a beer, go outside, walk down the street and drink. You can drink in parks, you can drink in most places.
Actually, everyone just kind of casually drinks everywhere, so it's kind of like a...
In the party areas like Shibuya and Roppongi, you'll see a lot of foreigners congregate in groups and have like outdoor drinking parties in the street. It's more foreigners. Japanese people kind of do it more in passing, like they're going somewhere and have their beer or something like this. That's how I see it.
I think you're right, but also it's like, I mean, there's so much restaurants that serve alcohol in a very cheap manner, so this is kind of like the last option after you drink somewhere and on your way home you drink and at your house you drink.
Yeah, foreigners do it the opposite way. They pre-game and bring the drink beforehand so that when they get to the bar they're already drunk. I guess it depends when you want to be drunk. But it's great for Hanami, cherry blossom season, and parks.
Yeah.
It's great that you can go to the park, have a picnic, have a beer, and no one's gonna bother you. Number 2.
Okay. You can slurp your noodles. Yeah. This is kind of like a Japan...
Specific.
Yeah. Specific in a way kind of rule where there's ramen, soba, somen, udon. All these kind of noodles.
If you're in any long noodled restaurant, like the ones he just named, you are gonna hear slurping. Let's hear another one. Let's hear another one.
There's no more water.
Do you want me to pour in some cold water?
No,
I think that was good. That was pretty solid. Well, it basically sounds like that, like a little more wet.
Yeah.
Because these noodles just, we cooked them like 15 minutes ago and they dried out. I heard that the reason is that because when you slurp, the noodles cool down, it helps the noodles cool down because usually like ramen's served piping hot.
Yeah, actually for the hot noodles definitely, and also what I heard was that it gives the impression that it tastes really good. Like
yes,
you're so eager to eat it, so you slurp so much, you know?
I just can't do it. I end up like sucking back into my throat and going like I don't have it's like I do it.
That's really cool. Maybe it's like a trained
I'm trained like, not to slurp.
Yeah.
And also whenever I do try to slurp, it's like the noodles rock back and forth and get my shirt all dirty.
I understand.
So you have to do the tuck your shirt
I have
back
to
thing.
do this,
I actually eat ramen, I think, in a way that's like basically illegal in Japan. I like
kind of pick up the noodles onto a spoon and like use the chopsticks to scoop it up, but like have the spoon always there so that the noodles don't swing on me.
I don't know, I mean like, it's kind of your way, because nowadays it's like changing to that way where you slurp spaghetti, you're kind of really rude, so... 3. And probably the most surprising one, this one has like a lot of caveats, so let's just go for it. You can get away with sleeping drunk in public places. Yeah, in usual circumstance, like you can never sleep outside with your wallet in your pocket or your phone or your iPod or whatever you have in your pockets and sleep outside. But in this circumstance in Japan, you go to a park and you can just pass out there until the morning.
Yes. Or even like the big buildings next to train stations, if you miss the train, people will like kind of line up and sleep up by the building. And some people will just pass out right there in the middle of the street and you step over them and their iPhone's over there and their suitcases over there and people just step around them. And at worst, you kind of like giggle at them and their misfortune, but you don't bother them.
Do anything to them, I mean like...
And in the last year put in motion a social campaign to stop this, to shame people from doing this. However, it still happens. So by you can do it, we mean it happens. Should you be doing it? No. Can you get away with it? Yes. I remember when I first lived in Nagoya, like Nagoya's not as, you know, you don't have as crazy of like party drinking places. So it was more of this kind of like lined up people waiting for the first train by buildings, like asleep. Like businessmen with their suitcases next to like banks.
It's just way too much people who drinks way too much and then just...
And I think a lower tolerance for alcohol.
Yeah. Number 4, you can smoke in restaurants.
Japan is, I think, one of the few countries that still has designated smoking areas in restaurants.
Yeah.
So it's not like anywhere in the restaurant is okay, unless you're in certain Japanese-style bars, like izakayas, or clubs or something.
I think it's just because it's different from bars in America, because like everyone sits down to actually eat food.
Yeah.
And then smoke and drink. It's kind of a crappy concept.
I mean, it goes along with the salaryman culture, right? Like drinking and smoking and having some food, so it works in izakayas. And then in other restaurants, it's generally speaking like a designated area. So say there's 100 seats, 70 are non-smoking, 30 are smoking.
Yeah.
And they're like behind a glass, so you're not necessarily bothered by the smoke if you're a non-smoker.
I mean, the only people benefiting for this is like
the smokers.
Yeah, smokers and maybe the doctors treating them later on in their life.
They are trying to get rid of it more and more and more.
Yeah, it's actually really crazy. They kept on distinguishing all the smoking places in Tokyo because of the Olympic. Like you see ads like that. Yeah, like they're secretly
like shaming them or something.
Yeah.
I was very surprised. I walked into a cafe yesterday that was all smoking. On the flip side, you can't smoke in the streets. You have to go to a designated area. You can't just walk around with your cigarette and smoke. 5. You can and you should ask police for direction. There's these little buildings called kobans. They're like police stations, but they're super tiny with 2-3 policemen there. According to me, it's better to ask a policeman for direction than a random stranger. Stranger, it's gonna take time out of their day to like walk you there and you're gonna interrupt their day. So ask a policeman. For me, the reason that it's unique for me is it's like they're ready. They're ready for this. This is their task.
Yeah, and you know, they're kind of like their job, so they would more likely help you. I mean, it's kind of funny their job, but I mean, there's a person like there's a policeman literally standing up like this in front of the koban, and all you see go there are people who wants to know directions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of
So the policeman will know their area very well, and they'll be able to tell you basically anything. Kawaii! Kawaii! 6.
Sorry, I did 10. You don't need to say bless you when someone sneezes, but in theory, when a cute girl sneezes in a cute way, you kind of have to say kawaii.
Kawaii!
Kawaii! Say kawaii, because everyone else is gonna be like kawaii.
Yeah, but generally speaking, when someone sneezes, you just ignore it. There's no phrase, and when I taught English, teaching people the phrase bless you was a really difficult thing to sneeze because there's no culture for it.
Yeah, it's like you just ignore someone, bless like, no, nothing.
Can you sneeze cute? 7.
You can actually stand in convenience stores or bookstores and read their magazines and books. It's actually...
As long as it's not taped together.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you walk into a convenience store, you'll see like 3 people standing there reading a magazine. And it's so loud that it has its own name, Tachiyomi, which means stand and read. They're
all on sale. These books, magazines, they're all on sale. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean,
like
you're
they're
gonna
being
get kicked
sold.
to hell. Yeah, they're being sold.
Not like they're discounted.
Yeah, and you get to read the entire thing and just go home. You don't even have to buy the book. It's kind of
it's really weird. It surprises me that the business like works.
Yeah.
That's 8. Yeah.
Yeah. You can hold your bowl while you eat, basically. You can do that.
Yeah.
With your rice, or you've got a plate of spaghetti that you can just
pick it up and eat it.
Yep.
There are things called something don, like
gyudon, which is
beef bowl or maguro don, which is like tuna. And these are like meant to be picked up.
And
they're in a bowl that like fits well in your hand, and you pick it up and you eat it. And it's completely acceptable. So if you're ever like thinking, oh, it'd be so much easier if I could pick my bowl up and eat it. In Japan, you're okay. Go for it.
Yeah. I mean, this really is weird when it comes to unagi. People pick up this thing that's costing like 3,000 yen. Everyone's like paying a lot of money and being really fancy, really, and everyone's just kind of like eating it like it's like a 400 yen gyudon. Like
9. Some soups are made to be drank from the bowl rather than to be scooped with a spoon, such as miso soup. I think ramen is. You can also do it, like the end of ramen soups, broth. I remember when I first was living here, and I had miso soup the first, few times. My instinct was to look around for the spoon, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to just pick out like your seaweed, nori, and whatever with the chopsticks, and then drink the rest. A lot of times it comes in a small bowl, and it even like looks like a drink amount of soup rather than an eat amount of soup.
They give us spoons with miso soup in America. I forgot about that.
They do? I can't remember.
No, when I went to America, they gave
you a spoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be weird.
Every miso soup was with a spoon.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember, but I totally believe you. Yeah, I think it must be true because I worked in a Japanese restaurant and I was still surprised when I came here. Like, oh, wait, where's my spoon? 10. You can ask a fireman to help you safely remove a stuck ring from your finger. You gotta take this one away.
Yeah, so basically, like, you have a ring on.
Stuck.
Yes, it's just really tight from a very long time ago and you might have forced it in. You just run to your closest fireman.
Can you call him to come over?
I don't think so. You just have to rush in there, yeah.
But you said there's a special machine for this.
Yeah, they actually are equipped with like a machine that
does it.
Yeah, just cuts kind of like the. I don't know how to explain it. Like, that's what they do because they don't actually take it out. They just cut it more. It's like when it's stuck beyond belief.
I never knew this. This is like I learned this while making this video. I learned something. If you guys learned something, I learned something too. So we're all winning here. All right. So to keep the video form consistent, we shared 10 things with you, but we have 2 bonus points and then an extra bonus story time point. In Japan, if you live here, you might come across people reading explicit manga on trains.
Yep.
Like porno comics.
Even that's kind of weird to see in America.
Sex porn? Like porn? Like straight up porn?
Yeah, I mean, I think you see it much more often than anywhere else in the world and nobody ever says anything. And that's like the weirdest part ever.
Yeah, I guess in a way you're supposed to kind of mind your own business, so maybe it's your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So on that point, our second bonus point is you can ask bookstores to put a cover on the books you purchase so that no one knows you're reading porn. Bonus story time. Okay, so once I lost my phone and I figured out that I lost it on the train according to my timeline and so on. And I called the local train company and they told me that yes, we do in fact have it. It's at the Lost and Found. Come and pick it up tomorrow between this and this time. And I went to pick it up, and when I picked it up, they gave me back my phone plus a return ticket home, which I thought was like, that's totally my responsibility. I'm the one that lost my phone. I should be the one responsible for paying the train ticket there and back. Why is the city or the train company or whoever it was reimbursing me for my mistake? So, if you want a free ride, lose something. So thank you very much for tuning in today. Please leave comments about what other types of tips and videos you'd like us to do with Ryo. We hope to have him in more videos coming up. Make sure to like the video, leave a comment,
and subscribe. Please subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
はい。
We're not forcing you to do this though, so it's all your choice.
この動画にいいねを残して、チャンネル登録をお願いします。あとできればコメントも残してください。お願いします。
お願いします。